Well, welcome everyone to today's seminar on, just getting myself set up there, on creating YouTube chapters in videos, instructional videos stored on YouTube. This is one of the neatest new things I've seen in some time, and indeed has motivated me to start once again storing a lot of my instructional videos on YouTube rather than Canvas Studio or 3C Media or other free repositories we have access to, simply because of this one feature, because it really can increase the efficacy of an instructional video. So let's see what we're talking about. What are YouTube chapters? Indeed, they are in effect a table of contents for your video. They allow you to provide students with a series of different topic areas in the video. It's really frustrating. Sometimes when you want to watch an instructional video and maybe there's one piece of information that you really need in that video, but you have to watch the whole video or everything up to that point where you run into that piece of information in order to get it. Where it would be a lot easier if you could if you knew where that particular topic was covered in the video, you could just go right to it, get what you needed, and proceed to use it. So, videos with tables of contents are a lot more efficient and more effective in many circumstances where people don't need to watch the entire video but need one or more specific bits of information from the video. Your navigation of the video is a lot more efficient then. You don't waste time watching stuff you already know or that's not of interest to you. And these tables of contents that we can create are even included in Google search results. So if your video is picked up by Google and comes up as a hit in a Google search result, Google will display the table of contents underneath it optionally. There's a little button you can click on to expand that, and people all over the world will be able to navigate your video more effectively, and are more likely to choose your video to watch over some other competitors out there. If you happen to be monetizing your YouTube channel or something like that, or just feel good when the number of hits on your videos that you have stored in YouTube rises, this is a neat idea. And creating YouTube chapters turns out to be really easy. They're implemented in the description, the video description box that goes with each YouTube video, which you may or may not be using if you store your videos on YouTube. There's a box, a field for a detailed description of the video, and you implement this table of contents by just typing stuff into that description box. I'm not going to show you how to do all this in a minute. I'm just trying to give you an idea of where we're going here. The only hard part, if there is one, or time-consuming part of doing this is deciding where you want to break your video chapters up. At what point in the video does a new topic begin, and what is that topic? And then how long does that topic run, and when does the next logical subdivision of the video start? And you need to go through the video, which you've probably just created anyway, so you know, even at my age, you remember what you put in the video just a few minutes ago. and you organized your thoughts and made an outline probably before you created the video, so you know what's in there and what's where it starts and where it ends. So you just have to find those time points in the video and decide how you're going to label the topic that's covered in that segment of the video. So these YouTube chapters are created by entering into the description field here a time code and a content label, a few words that describe what's going on at that point in the video. There are a few specific requirements. It is possible, as they say sometimes, to screw this up. I see numerous videos on YouTube on why aren't my YouTube chapters working? And there are some very ticky little rules you have to follow when creating these things. First off, the time code has to be formatted just so. Hour, colon, minute, colon, second. You don't have to add zeros in front of single-digit minutes or hours or whatever, but you do have to make sure you put a colon in between the minutes and the seconds. Not a semicolon, not a period, not a comma, but a colon. Nothing else will work. So 3 minutes and 10 seconds into the video would be designated as 3:10. Not complicated, but it's easy to make a mistake and mistype something. Darn keyboard has the semicolon and the colon on the same key, right? All you have to do is miss the shift key and you can be in trouble. And you can't start with your first entry at like 1 minute in or something like that. Your first entry in your table of contents has to start at the very beginning of the video at 0 minutes, 0 seconds. And you have to label it like introduction or just the title of the video or whatever. But there has to be a 00. And you've got to have at least 3 chapters. It won't let you just put in 2. You got to have 3. So you got to, wedge one in there somehow. If it's a very short video and you really only need 2 chapters, you still got to have 3. Or it won't work. And the chapters have to be at least 10 seconds long. The video segments you're labeling have to be at least 10 seconds long. So you can't have 2 time codes within 10 seconds of one another. It's also a very good idea with any features in YouTube to ensure that your YouTube account is verified. It was probably verified long ago. Google would have probably popped up a message that said your account needs to be verified. Type in a phone number and we'll send you a text or we'll send an automatic call. And you'll get a code that will verify that you're a human being with a smartphone as opposed to a robot. And you're not just loading all sorts of crap onto YouTube automatically. This process is you can check very quickly to ensure that your YouTube account is verified, and if it's not, you can very quickly get verified. This is also important, by the way, if you want to load videos onto YouTube which are more than 15 minutes in length. An unverified YouTube account can only accept videos of up to 15 minutes in length. And if you, at least the way it used to be, I haven't had an unverified account in a while, but the way it used to be, YouTube didn't warn you. If you tried to upload a video that was longer than 15 minutes, it just threw it away. It didn't say anything to you about, it's not 15 minutes. It would just vanish into the ether, and you'd think it was there. They go back looking for it, and it's not there. So it's important to check to see that your YouTube account is verified for all sorts of reasons. Let's see how we can do that. All you have to do is type the following URL on the address line of any web browser: youtube.com/verify. Oh, very simple. Easy to remember. If you do that, if your YouTube, of course, is a Google resource. It's owned by Google for years now. And if you're not logged in to your Google account when you do this, you'll first be prompted to log in. If you are logged into your Google account and it's not verified, Google will give you a box to enter a cell phone number and ask you whether you want a phone call or a text. They will then use whichever method you specify to send you a code, and they'll give then the page in your browser will automatically change and will automatically update, and you'll have a box into which you can enter that code. And once you do that, your account is verified forever and ever until you delete it someday. As we can see here, mine's been verified a long time ago, but that is how you can verify your Google account. And you have to have been a good person with Google to get this to work. This will not work if you have any copyright strikes. It's not unknown for us to upload a video to YouTube that we found somewhere that turns out, unbeknownst to us, to be commercially copyrighted. If Google identifies it as such, they will add what they call a copyright strike to your account, which will stay there, I think, for about 90 days or so. And if you do it again in that time, they get very huffy. And I think if you do it 3 times, they delete your YouTube account or you delete your Google account, and you can't use the same phone number to make a new one or anything like that. You get in. You really don't want to get into Google's bad graces. Ask me how I know. I one time decided I would get YouTube to do some work for me, so I took a video I knew was copyrighted, but I wasn't planning on leaving it on YouTube. I was just going to put it on YouTube long enough for YouTube to caption it automatically so I could download the captions, then I was going to delete it. Well, that didn't work out so well. Google caught it almost immediately. And I spent 90 days in Google's purgatory. You don't want to do that because I use so many different Google services, and you may as well. You really don't want to get on Google's bad side, one of the biggest corporations in the world. I don't know if you go past having your account deleted, I don't know what happens. Maybe the black SUVs pull up next to you on the street and you vanish. So no copyright strikes. But if you have one, this won't work. They won't let this work. All right, now let's do this for a video and see how easy it is. I've got an instructional video that I put up on YouTube just a few days ago that I have not yet created created chapters or a table of contents for. So let's take a look at this. It's a video about creating a portable Zoom studio that you can carry with you in the car, or on the plane, or over your back in a backpack that you can take and use anywhere that you have an internet connection. And it's got almost all the capabilities that I have in my home studio here, and you may have something very similar. But it allows you to effectively hold a Zoom class no matter where you are. So it gives you a little more flexibility to travel now that maybe we dare do so again, or maybe before long we'll be able to do so safely. So this was something I created for me because I do these seminars usually a couple of times a week, and almost every week. And in order to get my time in each month, I can't skip too many days or too many weeks. And I don't want to be rooted at home, tied to my home studio here. I wanted to be able to do any seminar that I could do here at home on the road. So that's what this is about. So let's play a little bit of it here. And to do this, I am, rather than using this sharing method I'm using right now, I'm going to actually share that screen so the sound comes through better. Okay, now you're seeing just the PowerPoint slide without me. Okay, here's what happens at time 0, a little intro. In this video, we're going to see a portable Zoom studio, which can be carried from classroom to classroom or city to city and be used to teach effectively wherever you have a single power connection and internet access. The equipment list is provided in the description below. The core of the system, of course, is a decent... Okay, I just went from one section of the video to another there. The first was just a little introduction to the topic of the video. And now I'm getting ready to talk about the components that make up the studio. But that transition happened right at about 33 seconds in. And I can tell where I am in the YouTube video in the description below by looking at the time code down here right next to the play button and the little volume slider. So I'm 33 seconds into this 10-minute and 51-second video. And that's my first break point. That's the end of my first chapter, which I'll call maybe introduction. So I need to know that. And I have somewhere over here, see if I can find that. I have a little list of these things. So my introduction, it's easier for me anyway to have this all typed out before I actually go into YouTube and try to enter it. So I've got at 00, I've got an introduction, and at 0 minutes 33 seconds, I start talking about the components of the studio. All right, let's keep going. So the core of the system, of course, is a decent laptop, power supply, and an external mouse is important to have. And since we really can't get along with just... Okay, and if I roll forward here, I can scrub through this YouTube video. Nice thing about YouTube. And I'm talking about the individual components, and I think I'm getting close to the end of that here. Which is designed for transporting electronic equipment. It's padded and sized accordingly, and it's certified to fit in the overhead bin of an airliner. Settings. Okay, now I'm getting to the system up. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes. So I've gone from describing the components of the system to showing how to set it up. And that happened right at... Oops, that wasn't the button I wanted. It's certified to fit in the overhead bin of an airliner. So that happened right at 3 minutes and 24 seconds. And that's the setup. I just call that studio setup. So there's time code. All right, then I go through the setup. Setting the system up takes about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how many times you practiced it. We'll speed that up a little bit for you. Nobody wanted to watch me do this for 15 minutes, so I did fast motion. And if I run through, scrub through, up. Okay. Just before that, yeah, right there, 513 is where I start talking about how to use the studio. And here we have the studio in action. This is my primary camera here. Okay, so that changed right at 3 minutes or 5 minutes and 13 seconds, excuse me. All right, so I got 5 minutes and 13 seconds studio operation. This is really simple, right? The only hard part is figuring out where to break the chapters. And finally, I go through and here we have the studio in action. This is my... And runs through on down. That's the longest single part of the video. Very sophisticated Zoom meetings with a variety of video sources. Okay. Now, when you're ready to go, pack up takes somewhere between... Undoing it. I'm showing off the functionality of the backpack here, which is you want something that will protect your expensive equipment, obviously, but doesn't take forever to pack up. So at 9 minutes and 15 seconds, I start the pack up. Yes.
It's just jumping in front of my eyes.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. It's I'm scrubbing back and forth, and that's a little messy. Sorry about that. That's the last one. So at 9 minutes and 15 seconds, I have the last chapter beginning in the video, and that chapter is pack up. So now I'm ready to add chapters to this video. I need to keep that handy where I can see it. And I am going to go ahead and go to YouTube here. I'm playing this out of PowerPoint, but I'm going to go to YouTube in order to be able to edit this video. And now, when you're ready to go, okay, and here's the video on YouTube. And I need to be here in order to actually put those entries into the description box. And I can only do this, of course, I should point out, for videos that I own, that I have the right to edit. I can't add chapters to videos that someone else has put onto YouTube. If it's my video, when I go to the page on YouTube for that video, I have an edit video button here. No one else but me gets that for this video. So I click that button.
Boy, Dave, it's so hard to watch it. You're just jumping.
I know. I'm sorry. We're hopping from screen to screen.
Yeah,
but that's the only way I can show you this.
It's impossible to watch it. It's just...
I'm so sorry.
No, I know.
I'll keep that to a minimum, but I have to switch from screen to screen in order to show this. And I know that the Zoom sharing will cause that to jump around a bit before it settles down. I'm sorry. I'll try to warn you before I'm going to switch a screen again, so you can close your eyes for a second.
Okay.
I'll let you know when it's safe, okay?
Okay.
All right, so here's the that edit video button takes us to what's called the video details page for that video. Every video you load onto YouTube has a page like this. And among the many things that are on this page, you of course have the title of the video. This is where you can edit that. And you also have the description box, which is where you're going to put this, the information that will allow you to create the YouTube chapters. You can start with something like table of contents or whatever. YouTube doesn't care what you put there. But below that, I'm going to put those chapter indications that we saw before. The 00, colon 0, colon 00, and introduction. Okay, I'm going to jump back to the video details page and just paste that in. Oops, I didn't copy that correctly, sorry. Jumping back to the YouTube chapters list. And I need to copy that. I thought I did. All right, now back to the video details page. And we'll paste that. And there we have what we need. The time code, a single space, though you can get away with 2 spaces or more as well. But at least 1 space between the time code and the label. Enter. Now I'll go back to the chapter. Actually, I think I could probably just copy all the rest of them at one time. I haven't tried that. Let's see what happens. I'll copy that to the clipboard. And now I'm going to go back to the video details page. We're going to switch screen again. And just copy that. Ha! Look at that. So it looks like it worked. We'll see if the chapters show up here in a minute. And that's all there is to creating YouTube chapters. The hard part, obviously, is figuring out where the chapters break, how many chapters you're going to have, what each is going to be called, and where it breaks. Once you get that information, putting that information into the video details page is pretty trivial. Though don't do what I did the last time I tried to do this video and forget to save all this. End up having to go back and do it again. Okay, I'm going to save this. Good. Now, if everything worked, and I didn't make any of those errors I talked about, I should be able to go back to the this video on YouTube, and this is going to change the screen again. And I look down here and look what I have. In the description box, it shows me the first 3 lines of what I entered into the description box, and then it gives me this link to show the rest of it. So I click Show More, and there it is. There's the table of contents. Let's see if it works. Well, I told it that the studio setup started at 3 minutes and 24 seconds. So if I got this right, I should be able to click on 3:24. Notice that each of these time codes is in blue now. And when I mouse over it, my cursor turns into a pointing finger. That usually indicates an active link. So if I click here, let's see what happens. Setting the system up, I jumped right to the point in the video where I started the setup at 3 minutes and 25 or 24 seconds. A couple seconds ran off there. So I have a functional table of contents for my video. Just nothing to it. But this makes it so much easier for people to use. So the little bit of extra effort that it takes to create this table of contents, once I've finished the video, and put it on YouTube is really worthwhile. And I'm trying to make myself do this for all of the instructional videos that I create now. For the longest time, I was storing and serving all of my instructional videos from my Canvas Studio account because I like certain things about that. But this feature by itself has taken me back to YouTube. I'm putting, and YouTube works great. It's totally free. The You can put as many video once you verify your account. You can put as many videos onto YouTube as you like. I have somewhere north of 700 now, and they can be as long as you like. And Google will never, at least they never have, asked for money because they make their money through advertising. That's their thing. That does bring us to one drawback to using YouTube, of course, is that when you use these the table of contents time codes, the chapter time codes, when it jumps into the video, it jumps to the YouTube page. And there's all sorts of advertising there. Mainly there are suggested videos, but there may also be a banner ad or something like that, so it's distracting. And students, not just students, any of us can get distracted and say, oh, I'd like to, well, I'll just stop this for a minute and I'll look at Glenn Campbell for a minute. Well, hopefully I'm not that bored, but you get the idea. There may be something over here, quite possibly, that's more interesting than I am. So that's a potential drawback. But I think it's worth it in this case. In terms of aggravation benefit analysis, I think the benefit outweighs the aggravation. Yes, Kim.
If you create, so first of all, thank you. This is super clear, and yeah, I like you. I don't have nearly as many as you, but I'm going to have to go backwards and slowly but surely do this to all of the
Do
videos
this
I
to.
already have.
I know. I'm thinking about that, and I'm thinking, nah.
Like, I'm thinking, well, if I do 2 a week, two
Oh,
a
no.
week.
Uh-oh.
But
Now I feel responsible for ruining your.
but if you do this in YouTube Studio and then import this video into Canvas Studio, does it hold on to these chapters? It does not. Okay.
No. I'm going to show you in a minute how to share this in Canvas and have these things available. It's kind of clunky, unfortunately, but it can be done. Let me adjust my chroma key here. I'm starting to sparkle. There we go. Okay. Oh, and note that you don't just get the simple text-based table of contents here. You also get chapters with the time code and so on down here. This looks a little cooler anyway, and these work the same way. If I click on Studio Operation, it will take me, and here we have to that section in the video. So I really like this. I think it's worth putting up with all the stuff over here. Not that students aren't capable of distracting themselves after all. And of course, if they just full screen the video, then that stuff is out of sight for a minute, and they can see what's going on better anyway. So at least there's some way for them to get it out. I wish I could make that more difficult. So there's our demonstration on how to create YouTube chapters. Now, how do you share these videos with your students? This may be something you're very familiar with, but there is a slight twist to it. If you have at least in one of the things I'm going to show you, there's a slight twist to the situation. If you have, in fact, created a table of contents, created chapters in your YouTube video. One thing you can do that is dirt simple, but will ensure that students are going straight to YouTube, is to just insert a link to this video as an external URL in a module in Canvas. So let's do that just to make sure everybody knows how to do that. Let's do that. Let's see, go to the dashboard here and let's see if I'm still logged in. Yep. And I'm just going to go, I've got a Canvas sandbox here. Go to our modules. And let me make a module for this this seminar today. And find it. It's down at the bottom. Got a lot of modules here. I've used this for years. Now I'm going to move this module. Don't do that to me. Move the module to the top. All right. I'm going to add to the module the usual way in Canvas. Use the plus sign in the title bar for the module to add content to the module. And I'm just going to add an external URL to the module. I need to name it. This will be Portable Zoom Studio. So students know what they're clicking on. Whenever you're adding videos as external links in a Canvas module, you better click Load in a new tab, or the video may not play when the student clicks on the link in the module. One of the little quirks in Canvas. Beyond that, all I need is the link, the URL for the video. Well, I can get that from YouTube for any video very easily. Here's my video again, and the link to the video can be had by clicking on the share button below and to the right of the video window. And here's the link, the unique link for that video, the so-called share URL for the video. And I can just copy it to my clipboard by clicking the word copy here. And it tells me it's copied that link to my operating system clipboard. Now I can drop down, go back to Canvas, and just paste that URL into this external URL object that I'm creating here, and then add the item to the module. And of course publish the module and that in order so that and the link so that students can see it. It's not published, students can't see it in Canvas. So a student comes along, clicks on this link, they're going straight to YouTube and to the beginning of the video, where they have access to the table of contents. So that works. It's kind of crude, but it works. It would be nice if we could just embed this in a Canvas page. But when I tried that, this is what happened. Oop. Went too far back there. Okay. Lost track of Canvas there. Just a second. Too many windows open. do with that? Oh, well. Take the easy way out and open up another window. All right. Go back into the right course. Go to the modules. And there we are. There's our portable Zoom Studio link. Like I say, this just did not work when I tried to embed this thing into a Canvas page and then and then just type in or paste in the links to the chapters from YouTube, because what happens is this. I'm just going to create page to video page. Call it anything I like. And add that item, and then go to that blank page and edit the page, and I can easily embed the video, but that doesn't bring the
Contents.
the table of contents over. So
That doesn't bring it.
Yeah, we can go to the embed tool in the rich content editor. I just need an embed code. I'm going to go back to YouTube now and get that. So the screen's going to change. And I can get that from the share button here. And click embed and copy. That gives me the embed code for the video. Now I'm going to go back to Canvas. And I'll just paste that into the embed code box. Don't have to worry about how that works. And click submit. And there's the video embedded. And I, thinking myself clever, said, well, now I can just paste the table of contents below it. I'm going to go back to YouTube now and close this. And here's my table of contents. So I thought, I'll just be able to highlight that and right click and copy it. I've got that on the clipboard now. I'm going to go back to Canvas. It's going to jump again. And I'm just going to paste that right here. And it sort of works. It doesn't bring the line breaks over, so I had to put the line breaks back in by just putting my cursor right at the beginning of the time code and pressing enter, and then just continuing to do that as I go down the line here, so that I get each time code on a single line, which it has to be in order to make sense. Okay, so that looked okay, and these look like they're active links. Great.
Can you save it, Dave? Can you save it?
I will in a moment.
Okay.
And but this, as I said, I kind of
Save and publish.
I gave away the ending here. This is not going to work very well. I'm going to save it and publish it. And look what you get.
That's fine.
Well, yeah, you'd think. And it actually works. If I click on like the time link for Studio Setup, it takes me to setting the system, and it worked. But watch what does. But let's go back and take another look at it. You also get these little thumbnails, and they all just take the students to the beginning of the video.
Oh, I see.
They're not linked to the time code above them. This is a Canvas problem, not a YouTube problem. So if I click here instead of here, I go to the beginning of the video.
Can you delete the thumbnails?
You can't.
What if you click on the number?
Because remember, I didn't put the thumbnail in. Canvas put that in automatically, and I don't know of a way to stop it from doing that or to remove them once they're there. I even went in and tried to hand edit the HTML code a little bit. I managed to break it, but I didn't manage to get it to work. So,
Dave, what if you click on the number?
Pardon?
Can you click on the number 324, for example? Can you click on that?
You can. Let me go back.
Uh-huh.
If I click on the 324,
Yeah.
it works.
Works. Okay. Maybe we just have to write a recommendation for students what to do. It's one sentence.
You could tell them just to click on the numbers.
Yeah.
Don't click. But I did come up with another way that I want to show you. We're actually running toward the end of the hour here. I did come up with a way to make this work. It's a little clunkier, but it didn't involve the confusion that this does. What I did was to bring up Word. Somewhere, there it is. All right, now we're going to Microsoft Word. I started a blank document, and I embedded the YouTube video into Word. You can do that. You can do insert and online videos, and just paste the share URL for the video. Let's see, I have to get that back up there. I think I cleared that off the keyboard. Yeah, there we go. So I need the, oops, that's not the one I wanted. That's what I want. I need the embed code for that video from YouTube. Now I go back to Word. Screen's going to change again. And just paste it in here and insert it. And it inserts quite nicely. I can center it if I want to. And so on this works. Now I'm going to copy and paste the table of contents in. Copy that. Go back to Word. And there might be other ways to do this as well. Oops, that's not the one I wanted. There we go. So let's left justify that and paste that in. And I get the same thing happening. Apparently YouTube doesn't use carriage returns at the ends of lines, so I have to do this again. And then save the page to a convenient location, my documents folder. I'm going to call this Portable Zoom Studio Seminar, and save it. Now I can go back to Canvas. Screen's changing again, sorry. And go to my modules. And I'm going to add a file. Upload a file to this module. I'll click Create File. I'll choose the file, which is in my documents library. I called it Portable Zoom Studio Seminar, is what I called it. And I'm still sharing that screen. You're still seeing this, right?
Yeah.
Never assume. And then just click Open to tell Canvas which file I want to upload, and then add the item to the module and publish it. Now if the student comes in and clicks, after a little bit of a delay as Canvas loads the word viewer, ta 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 ta.
I like your singing.
Yeah, right. Uh,
While we wait for that, Dave, may I please ask a
yes,
question?
yes.
Is there a
Go ahead.
okay. I hate the term best practices, but is there a kind of like rule of thumb for what is a good number of chapters for time? Like it, or like what, like definitely don't go over this many, or definitely don't go
I would
under.
say-
Like I know we have to do minimum 3, but is there some kind of rule of thumb of guidance there?
No more than you need, I would say. Keep it as simple as possible, but each video is going to be different. And it may have a bunch of little ideas, one right after another, or it may, there may only be a couple of sections to the video, in which case you kind of have to invent something. But the fewest you can get by with, I would say, would be the rule of thumb. But it's impossible to set a number because each video is different. Okay, so there we are. There's that video, and they can play the video from the beginning by clicking here. Or they can scroll down and they can pick a time or a chapter, setting the system up. But no matter what they do, they get sent to YouTube and they see the advertising. So that's one drawback to this. Like I say, I've decided that I'm willing to accept that, but that's going to be a personal decision. Some people hate YouTube so much that they just don't want to do that, but they probably don't have videos on YouTube anyway in that case, so it's not going to be an issue for them. So, but YouTube, this really does add value to the video. So, like I say, I'm willing to put up with it for now. Let's see, what else did I have here? Yeah, and there's the second option, embedding into the Word doc and loading the file into the module. There may be other ideas. If you come up with one, I'd love to hear it to maybe make this work even better. And once you have your chapters in there, after a few days, as Google's crawler runs through the YouTube site and so on and updates itself, eventually, if people search for the topic of your video and your video pops up in the Google search results, they'll see the chapters. So they can jump right from Google, from a Google search hit, right into the appropriate part of your video. So that's kind of a little extra neat thing. It's not that valuable to us because our students are going to be accessing it from Canvas in all probability and then be dropped right into YouTube. They're not going to be searching for it in Google, but it could happen. And certainly other colleagues or just ordinary people across the world may, if you make your video public on YouTube so that people can search for it, of course, you'll help people all over the world. And you never know what people will like. I did a video for a friend about 6 months ago who had just bought a new iPhone. And she had a Macintosh computer and she wanted to link the two together. And I made her a little instructional video on how to do that. It wasn't even something I did for work. Last time I checked, 5,600 people had watched that video, or it had been watched 5,600 times. You just never know what will catch people's fancy. And it's kind of nice to, and I occasionally, it's even gotten some likes, which I've never gotten before on YouTube. And it makes you feel good. And you're helping people who you've never met and probably never know of. So it's a nice feeling. Let me show you just very briefly what that looks like live. If I go to just Google, and I have a video on there on using the Zoom view menus that actually gets picked up fairly high. There it is. I was the first hit today. I don't get that very often on Google. And right below the hit is 8 key moments. And if I open that, I get the chapters.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of cool. Okay, that's everything I have to say about chapters in YouTube. Sorry to go 5 minutes over there. Do you have any questions for me about this or anything else? Let's deal with questions on this first, and then I'll answer questions as I always do on anything. So, anything I can help with.
Kim, you can start.
I'm sorry?
I had one. Thank you, Olga. I had one, and now it's escaping me. So let me marinate for a minute and get and find it.
I've driven it right out of your mind. Yeah, sorry about that.
Dave, I don't have any questions about that particular topic, but I do have a question: how to move my class schedule assignments from one college to another? Remember,
One college, so from one Canvas system to another, without having to recreate it all.
Yeah, from Mesa to Grossmont.
Gotcha. That's very doable, and it's a question that comes up often enough that I already have a tutorial online for it.
I know. I looked at it and I followed.
Let me show you how I find it. Okay.
Okay.
We'll go to our Canvas tutorials on the Open On Demand site that we maintain. You can get to those from within Canvas by going to the Help menu, and you'll find SDCCD Canvas tutorials, Help menu, and that will take you to the Open On Demand site. Or you can just type sdccdolvid.org in the address line of your browser, and that will take you to the home page of the site. And I put this in my email signature. Every time I send an email out, this address is in there. So that try to make it as easy, and it's linked in other places as well, but it, nothing can ever be easy enough to find. So once you get to here, you're copying the course from one system to another. You can either just use the words copy and Canvas or just copy. And search for that and scroll down. And it happens to be the second hit. I got lucky. Copying Canvas course content from one Canvas system to another. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to do it live anyway. All right, but that's, and let me put that direct link to that tutorial in the chat tool here so you'll have that. There it is. You can click on that and save it and watch it later if you like.
Yeah. Okay, let me take a picture. Go, hold on. I want to take a picture.
You want to get that? Sure. Got it.
Okay. Thank you so much. Oh my God.
Okay, and that basically you're going to um, export your course from from the system where it's located now into a zip file that you download, put on your local hard drive. Then you're going to go to the other Canvas system where you want to put the course, and you're going to open up. You have to have a course shell made for you on the destination system. There has to be a blank course shell waiting for you there. And then, which you should have, if you're teaching for them and you're teaching the same course, they should have provided
Yeah.
you with a blank shell for it. So you go to the settings page in the blank course, you go to import course content, and you tell it that you're going to import a Canvas course export file. And then it just puts all that content in. But this tutorial will take you through that step by step.
Dave,
Yes.
I tried several times, and when it asks me to save somewhere the content of my class, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, and I saved it on the desktop, and then when I tried to move it to another college, okay, in this empty course shell, so it didn't it didn't move.
Didn't move. Okay, maybe we need to go through this in more detail. Let me do that. Let me just ask Kim real quick. Did you remember that question about what you wanted to ask?
Thank you, I did. I'm sure you've done a seminar on this, but I unfortunately missed it. Can you share what software you're currently using that makes you mini Dave in front of your slides?
Yes. Yeah, mini me. Uh, Mike Myers, right? Yes, absolutely. And it's on the on-demand site, and it's called OBS,
Uh-huh.
Open Broadcaster Studio.
Thank you. Yes, Darius Spearman did an intro, brief intro to that in a chairs meeting.
Bless his heart. Yeah, it's a wonderful tool.
Steep learning curve, it looks like, but it's very elegant.
It's not, well, it can be if you're trying to figure it out on your own. But if you have somebody to lead you through the hand for the first time, lead you by the hand through it for the first time, it's not that bad.
Excellent.
But it's the directions that you tend to get online and so on are pretty difficult to follow. I know I spent a couple of weeks.
Okay, that'll be on my longer term to-do list.
And that should be necessary. So in this tutorial right here, it's actually a collection of tutorials.
Mm-hmm.
And it describes what OBS does, and it shows you how to get it and install it.
Thank you.
Add sources.
I will add that to my kind of longer term to-do list. Yeah, and then I just have a
toy.
Two other quick questions. One is, please tell me that we're going to keep Canvas Studio.
I know it's been up. It's being updated or re-upped for another year.
Okay, that's
beyond that. I can't promise, but I know it's going for another year.
Fair enough. I mean, I have them in YouTube too, but I really prefer to link to Canvas Studio for the very issue that you bring up.
Yeah, and various right.
And then I have another, again, quick question that's more kind of philosophical, but this semester more than previous semesters am struggling with a bunch of students who aren't watching the videos. Like those who do, get them, say they're wonderful, say they're helpful, blah. And then I have a bunch of students who just
aren't bothering. Yeah.
Yeah. And I literally in my syllabus have quotes from previous semester students telling them like how to succeed in the class, and they're like watching it. They don't believe me.
Well, and I don't know how we tried to solve this problem with our clients. Our clients being you all. We've started putting some of these recordings that we have made, like this one, online so that people can get flex credit for watching them on demand on their own time. And what we did to encourage and more or less assure that people were actually watching them all the way through was that we embedded quizzes, Canvas Studio quizzes into them, and put a threshold, an 80% threshold. You know, you got to get 80% of the questions right in order to give yourself. We would ask, you know, flex credit is an honor system. We just ask, you know, you should feel good about giving yourself credit if you get 80% of the questions right in the quiz, and we make the questions really simple.
Yeah.
So the idea is just to encourage watching. So that's the one trick I can think of, other than, you know, actually giving them quizzes later on the videos and so on. To actually have the quiz embedded in the video actually serves another purpose, which is to make them, you know, rethink what you
Get
just
there.
said, and it helps with retention.
Yeah.
So that's my best
Okay.
on that.
Thank you. I will try that next semester, at least, maybe even just, yeah, I'll have to look into how to do into doing
Oh,
that
we
and
have-
having it.
We have tutorials for that too.
I know. No, I
As a
meant,
matter
I
of
didn't mean
fact-
how to physically do it. I think I attended one of them, more kind of how to, yeah, make them useful and count. But I won't take up any more of your time.
Oh, no, well, I'm going to show Olga how to move something.
Yep.
Move
Fair
a coin,
enough.
Okay.
I'm going to take off. I appreciate you.
Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you so much. Take
Appreciate
care.
you being here.
Have a great rest of your semester, Olga.
Okay, the same to you.
Bye.
Okay, ma'am, let's see how to do this.
Mhm.
I'm just going to pick a Canvas course at random here
Mhm.
to move.
Wow.
I've got my little screencasting course here. Let's take that one. Let's say that this is on one Canvas system and I want to move it to another.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so I go into the course and I go to settings
Mm-hmm.
in the course menu. And you've done this, obviously.
Yeah,
And go to, let's see, I've blown that up too much. There we go. Go to export course content
Mm-hmm. Yes.
and export course quiz, or course, I'm sorry. I'm going to export the entire course.
Mm-hmm.
Hit the export. Takes a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll get a new export here in a second. You've done all this. And of course, the trick is getting this downloaded to where you can find it again. Okay, there's the link
Mm-hmm.
to the export I just made. So I click on that link and a file save box pops up. Are you using a Windows PC or a Mac?
Windows. PC.
So it'll be File Explorer like this one.
Mhm.
And I can just put it on the desktop if I like. And the file name is going to be learn to screencast export .imscc is a type of zip file. Save that. Now if I go to my desktop,
Mm-hmm.
which I'd have to share with you. Let me do that. Oh, I can't do that. Right. All right, so let's see. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to have to get around Zoom here. Let me share my other screen over here with you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to share this screen and then move the Zoom window. I'm making this up as I go along. Sorry. Share that screen. Move that window. Okay, there's my desktop. Now, presumably, somewhere here is that.
Right here. Yes.
There it is. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's stored on my desktop. It really is there. I should also be able to see it in a file manager window, file explorer window. If I just open up the desktop, go here,
Mm-hmm.
there it is. right there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All
Yeah.
right. So I know where that is. That's the hard. That's the
Yeah,
hard
Dave,
part.
look at the picture. The picture is blank. There is nothing
Right.
there.
That's right.
That's what I got. The blank.
Well,
The
that's normal because that just
no.
means that Windows doesn't know what kind of file this is.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't have a special little icon type for it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
This is a very esoteric file type. It's not something that's real common in Windows or
Mm-hmm.
Mac.
Mm-hmm.
So, but this it's 404 kilobytes, so there's something in there.
Yeah.
It's not a blank file. That's
Mm-hmm.
the file you want. So now what I've got to do is go to my back to my dashboard and I've got to find the blank shell. I, I've got to first off log out of the system where I exported this from and
Okay.
log into the Canvas system of the school to which I want to move this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so let's imagine I've done that. Let me find a blank shell here. I've got one here that I use for that sort of thing.
It has to be blank. What
Uh,
if I
Well, it
already?
doesn't have to be blank, but you're going to add this content to it. So if it has unrelated content in it, it's going to, Canvas doesn't wipe out the old content that's in the shell, it just adds to it when you do a copy. So
Mhm.
you're going to end up with a mess with content,
Yeah. My question is, what if I can import it in the real shell, the shell that we're gonna use?
yes, you can,
Yes, can I do that?
you
Okay.
can import it into the real shell that you're going to use.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just trying to find a shell I can make blank here so that it's, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
I think this one has something in it, but I'll clear it out. Here's a useful trick too. If you want to make a blank shell, if you want
Mm-hmm.
to wipe everything in a shell out, you can go to settings and reset course content. Just be sure you're in the right shell when you do this for obvious reasons.
Yeah, yeah.
But okay, now it's a blank shell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, to bring that content into the shell on the at the other college
Mm-hmm.
or other district,
Mm-hmm.
I go again. I make sure I'm in the blank shell that I want to load this content into, and I click Settings,
Mm-hmm.
Course menu, and I go to Import Course Content.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I select for content type Canvas Course Export Package,
Mm-hmm.
which is what that IMSCC file is.
Mm-hmm.
Then I choose the file, and sounds like where you were having the problem. I
Yeah.
choose the file, and I navigate to my desktop, and there it is. These are the only two, they're, the can, Windows is not going to show you files that won't import into Canvas.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the file you want. It's got something in it.
Mm-hmm.
These IMSCC files are highly compressed, so they're not very big. That's a very small file, but it's still got all the content in the course in it. I
Okay, I will try again. Yes, I'll try again.
click open,
Oh my God. Yeah.
and then I've told Canvas which file I want to import. I
Mm-hmm.
take all content, usually,
Mm-hmm.
and then I just click import. It uploads, and it runs through the little process of importing. You don't have to sit here and watch this if it takes a while. You
Yeah,
can
it
go
takes a
back.
while, but it never ends. Has never ended.
But once I'm done with that, if I go back and click home,
Mm-hmm.
there's
Yeah,
the content.
yeah, I can see that's easy when you're showing it.
I
So
know. I know.
I'm doing it.
So
Thank you so much.
that's how that
Yeah.
works, and that's what that tutorial that I gave you the link for will show you. It'll walk you through that step by step again if
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
necessary. Okay.
That's wonderful. Thank you, David. David, I have kind of something I need to ask you.
Of course.
Um, I don't know, take your time, so I'll do it quickly. Dave, I want to learn how to edit video. So I have
Videos.
videos. Yeah. So, like, for example, I had a party, a birthday party, and I took several videos, and I want put them together together with the
Right.
pictures. And I'm just wondering if you can give me a private lesson, and I'll pay for you for that.
I
I
would
need to
be,
learn
oh,
that.
you don't have to pay me for it.
No, I
But
would
I
love
would
to.
be more, I'm always happy to get together and help people one-on-one with that sort of thing. Um, just very briefly,
Mm-hmm,
first off, we do have tutorials on that on the Open On Demand site,
mm-hmm,
which I have here somewhere. There it is. If you just go to and search for video editing,
mm-hmm.
there's lots of editing tutorials, but this is the one you want. Learn video editing. This is a playlist or a series of tutorials that will show you how to edit video. And basically, it shows you how to edit video in several different editors, all of which, all of which are either inexpensive or free, except for the last one.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, that's the one I would recommend.
Camtasia.
Camtasia has by far the easiest to use and the best video editor in this, ballpark, in this league. And you'll be much happier in the long run with Camtasia. Unfortunately, Camtasia costs $214, and there's no free version of it.
200.
$214 now. It used to be $170, and that's the educational price. You only get that because you're an educator.
Okay, so and
Cost
how
somebody else
long
$300.
it's annually, it's for
No,
every year.
no, it's a one-time cost.
Okay. I think I can afford it. So you want me to buy Camtasia?
If you're not going to, if you want to try something free first, Shotcut is a good, capable, free editor.
Mhm,
And I've had a number of people try that and be happy enough with it.
mhm,
And this tutorial and this one show editing the same video, the same tasks
mhm,
in the two different editors.
mhm.
So what might be worth it is for you to watch the Shotcut tutorial and the Camtasia tutorial. They're not terribly long. I think the Camtasia tutorial is 25 minutes, and the other one's about 20 minutes. And see, which one looks better to you. I know which one, as I say, I know which one I'd recommend. But I would be happy then to work with you if you have your video clips already on your computer and things like that. If you
Okay,
just
yes,
want to basically put them together into a
yes,
larger video, we can
yeah.
do that in probably 15 or 20 minutes together.
Well, maybe we can remove couple little bit of the videos that are not good.
Yeah,
Some
sure. And you
Mhm,
can cut pieces out easily enough and things
mhm.
like that as well. Let's see. Probably not today, but let me look here.
Mhm.
Immediate future. There's Google
Yeah.
Calendar. I'm actually pretty unencumbered the rest of this week.
Mhm.
I've got Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, and then I'm going to be leaving on a trip.
Oh, where are you going?
Okay. Going to southern New Mexico on a vacation.
Yeah, what part of Mexico?
New Mexico.
New Mexico. Oh, okay. So
Las
it's
Cruces, New Mexico.
okay.
Right
Cool.
right down near El Paso. But pretty much any time I think maybe I ought to check with my wife, but
Mhm.
I if you can give me a time that you would be convenient for you on Thursday or Friday.
Okay.
Uh,
So this coming Thursday. So
I'm sorry.
this coming Thursday. This
Yeah,
Thursday.
tomorrow or the next day,
Tomorrow, yeah. Yeah.
or even over the weekend.
Oh, wonderful.
I'm
Yeah.
retired. Weekends don't mean as much as they once did. So if you want to think about that, just email me and we'll set up a mutually convenient time to meet on Zoom. And if you have your video clips ready and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be happy to help out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you
Mm-hmm.
want to try this in Camtasia
Mm-hmm.
before you actually spend the money,
Mm-hmm.
you can get a trial copy of Camtasia on your computer. You just can't output the result. Or if you can output it, but it has a big nasty watermark in the middle of it and you can't watch it. But you
Oh,
can
okay.
do everything else. And if you decide it's worth it, you can pay the money and get an unlock code, which will convert that trial version of Camtasia to a paid version, and then you can output the video from it without having to do it over again.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
that would be the safe way to go about this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you can do that by going to techsmith.com is the company that makes Camtasia.
Mm-hmm. So this is how I buy. So I
This
go.
is, this is
Okay.
how you buy it, or this is how you download a trial copy to see if you really want to buy it or not. And
Techsmith.com. Mm-hmm.
so TechSmith, all one word, .com, and then go to products, point at products,
Uh-huh.
Camtasia, and free trial.
Oh, okay. I see. Mm-hmm.
And there's the Windows download.
Mm-hmm.
Click there. He said.
Mm-hmm.
There we
Mm-hmm.
go. Oh, and then um, nope. Oh, it did it. You're seeing that. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're not seeing that. Why is that? Oh yeah, it's just asking you where to save Camtasia. You just put it in your downloads folder and
Yeah.
save it, and
Yes.
then run
Yes.
it,
Okay.
and it will load Camtasia onto your system. If you have any trouble with that, um, send me an email, and I'll send you a tutorial that I have that
Mm-hmm.
will show you how to do that. Okay?
So Dave, what's your email?
Let me put that in the chat
Okay.
tool for
Yeah.
you.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
There it is. I still have my old district email. They let me keep that as long as I'm doing this. So.
Uh-huh. Okay. So I copy it. Or can you put it again? What is it?
Oh, sure.
Chat. Okay. Yeah, I got it. Okay.
Yeah, D Gibber so
Uh-huh.
at no N on the end at
Yeah.
sdccd.edu, the usual.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. There it is in the chat tool.
So you think you can find time this Thursday?
I'm sorry?
Do you think you can find the time this Thursday?
This Thursday, yes, I believe I can. I tell you, let me ask my wife something real quick and I'll be right back, okay?
Okay, sure. Okay.
Oh. Barbara, we're going to Coeur d'Alene tomorrow, right? And we'll be coming back and eating and so on, so it'll probably be fairly late before I'm free. Okay, thank you. Oh, it smells wonderful. Just about that. I'm trying to set a meeting time. Fax number. Or after 6 o'clock. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Okay. Checked with my social secretary there. I
Yeah.
could do it like first thing in the morning, like at 8 o'clock, or after 5.
After 5.
Will that work for you?
After 5.
Good. What time?
Like 5:30, 6?
5:30
5:30. Okay.
or 6. 6 is fine.
Yes. Okay. Like with 6.
Go for 6. All right. Well, I will. I tell you what. I'll send you an email confirming that.
Yeah. Okay. So it's Olga Vienna.
Yeah,
Vienna. Vienna. Can you see it? I don't. Oh yeah, you can
I
see
do.
it.
I see it right now.
Olga
I
Vienna.
am putting that in. I'm going to my email and putting that in my.
Dave, do you like good wine or whiskey or? I need to do something for you.
Oh heavens, no!
Yeah.
No, the school's going to pay me to do this. Don't worry about it. This
No, I'm
is this is
worried
part of what
about
they
it.
contract with me for is one-on-one help for faculty. You don't have to worry about it. I
No,
am just
worried.
fine. There you are. All right, I have you in an email send screen already, so I'm good.
Mhm. Okay.
That's
So,
your. It'll go to your district account.
okay, and you will send me the link, yes, to
I will send you the link to my Zoom room. Right.
the Zoom. Okay. Well, Dave, thank you so much for saving me.
Okay, and I'll send the time and so on. Then I'll put that in my calendar, and we'll be good to go for tomorrow evening. Okay.
Tomorrow evening, 6 o'clock.
Right,
Okay.
you are.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
All righty. Take care. Thanks so much for coming.
Oh, of course, of course. You're the best.
Oh, thank you. Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Bye-bye.